my life has been a series of complete, absolute failures. So essentially, I've had so many things go wrong, I can't really count them. But why that's happened, I suppose, it's because of my big goals. So with big goals, big aims, big dreams, then you're going to fail. It's just going to happen. And that breeds success. So early in my life, I watched the World Cup in, say, '98. I don't know if anyone remembers that. I supported Paraguay of all teams. They didn't get too far and went out to France. So first fail, obviously a fairly minor one. After that, my dream since I was young, anyone knows me a long time, I've always loved animals. And I had a whole menagerie, maybe 4,000 odd animals. Anything I do big. So that brought a desire to change the world, save the whales, save wildlife. And that took me to Madagascar. So at 18, I decided to go to Madagascar of all places to become a cryptozoologist. Now when I got there, I was pretty much in tears. This country that I'd seen since 5 years old, watched David Attenborough, really was very different in practice than I'd expected it would be when I got there. The country was burning down around me. It's 2001, so I'm sure it's got an awful lot worse. And essentially I realised, well, as a cryptozoologist, I'll make no difference whatsoever. It's just not going to change the world one bit. So I came back, previously a rugby player. I lost about 6 stone, so this is me just on my return. Basically a skeletal figure. But that bred a desire to, again, change the world in a new way. And through that I started a charity called Do Your Service. I was 19 years old, and our aim was, again, to change the world. So how we planned to do that was through helping others, through helping ourselves. We wanted to grow as people, learn new things, try to do big things again. And through that we built a series of water wells in Nigeria, Madagascar, Tanzania. We were only able to help about 400 or so families. We built a series of houses and properties and such. But again, wasn't a big enough goal. We tried to get more people engaged, more people interested, even from here locally, and it just wasn't possible. People weren't overly interested in this dream that a few of us had. When you sort of realise that, well, the whole world doesn't think the same way as you, and therefore you're not going to make that difference that you intend. So I got into business off the back of that. Through social enterprise, essentially trying to fund the charity one way or another, and that took me to create, first of all, a web design company that became a software company. We employed about 60 or so people and grew to, say, about 100 all told, including contractors. Omnisoft pretty much was a big lesson for me. I grew to a reasonable size, but didn't grow out a team, didn't have enough people, I want to say, who were at that executive level that could help us get to where we planned to, and ultimately my biggest client bought the company, taking me out of that company and into consultancy. So worked in that for a few years, and again got quite bored, to be truthful. Liked helping businesses, but wasn't able to make the impact that perhaps hoped when I was younger. And I got involved in my first venture-backed company. So I took on venture capital from, I'd say, the wrong people, for me at least, from the wrong investors, and that pretty much was the downfall of what was a great business concept. I had not looked at the right team beside me, and that again stopped me getting where I wanted to get to. So basically throughout life, my failures have continued to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I've never achieved a single goal that I set out for, but hopefully they continue to kind of at least have some sort of impact of some sort. As an example, in Omnisoft days, I had an event with, let's say, Bitcoin, so I got involved in Bitcoins in 2011. I bought those at about $2.50, if anyone knows what the price is today. I encouraged my staff to receive Bitcoins as an additional element to their salaries. We didn't feel big in this case. We didn't buy any any beyond that. Had we, our collective pot of bitcoins would be worth about $9 billion today, to put it in context. So I just wish we'd followed that dream at that point. I think very differently, I would say, to most people, and that's part of, I suppose, the way I was born. So I was told at a younger age that I was autistic and high functioning, so it's not been a major drawback. I'm able to cope with. I learn how to socialise and understand people, hopefully, but that has shaped who I am. And I met an amazing man who Gary mentioned at the start of this talk, Gavin Wall, and he coined me the Rocket Man for probably now becoming more clear why, a bit of randomness about me. But I mean, I really believe that it's right to try and feel as big as you physically can. Try and make as many mistakes as you can. Try and learn from those and grow. You may not be successful, but if you are, I mean, again, you're going to land on the moon if you shoot for the stars. My major influences in my life are fairly simple. A man who people may know from 400 or so BC, Socrates, who we know of from Plutarch and Plato, stated, "Know thyself." Now, I am still so far away from knowing myself. I don't know who I am really. So many people claim to and know who they are, but every new situation I'm in, every new context, I learn something new. And I think it's just amazing to just always go back to that to understand, well, have I changed? Am I still that same individual? And who really am I? Mahatma Gandhi, in every single business I've been involved in, has essentially been involved with me. So be the change you want to see in the world. I just encourage everyone to try and make the difference again that you wish to make. Mine are wildlife to helping on various levels in different businesses, but for whatever your dreams are, you should follow those. Sorry. Mark Zuckerberg, which is maybe a weird one when you mix it in with the other two, but I mean, Mark Zuckerberg invented a social technology that disrupted, I would imagine, how every single person in this room communicates. It definitely has impacted how I communicate. And I suppose his mantra around that, when he created the like for the first time, which we just seem to think is easy, but it really was the atomic bomb of communication, says, "Move fast and break things. You'll never do anything unless you're prepared to fail." And again, core to what my message is. So I follow a failure by design process. I am proud to fail. Now, it takes a bit of resilience, and I've had to grow into acceptance of failure throughout life, understanding what it really means if you learn from it and take the lessons that are there. But I definitely do believe that if you can get past that initial, that you're a failure as in at heart or at soul a failure, and accept that life is just a series of lessons and journeys, you're going to get somewhere that matters. I think money is a consequence, is just the truth of it. I take this mantra, and I'll just bring up the next slide soon, but just from a number of sources, both my own personal journey and others, but I just think having a $1 billion mindset is important. Why would I want a BMW or a bigger house? What I want is to change the world. So essentially that's what I'm here to do. And I was selected as one of the top 10 young entrepreneurs. Went on the George Osborne trip to China at that point. I was Omnisoft, you can see me kind of squeezing in there in the front corner. But I was there with some amazing people. So a guy called John Reynolds, who I met on my journey, he formed a company called SwiftKey, if anyone's aware of it. He sold that for £250 million. Also a guy, going through touch surgery. So another John. John's case, he's essentially disrupting how surgeons train and learn, and he's looking at over $1 billion valuation today. These are people who have tried many things, failed many things, and end up getting the other end of success. We have a guy called Ian Livingstone, so if anyone's played Tomb Raider or seen the films, he's the guy behind that, EOS. And Autonomy, an infamous guy called Mike Lynch, who essentially sold his company to Hewlett Packard for $11 billion. These guys dream big, and I just think that if everyone followed that mantra, they'll get where they want to go. So, as to today, what kind of comes next? So I have worked on innovation most recently, and what my focus has been on is things like patenting, conceptualization of R&D, these sort of things. Mainly people have commissioned me on a tax level, but that brought me in to work with some really big companies with hundreds of millions to billions of turnover, and that's changed my outlook on how the world works. Together with Gavin Wall, we have formed an organisation called The Change. And what The Change is here to do is to take £10 million and over the next 10 years turn that into 10 billion. Now, that's a fairly massive task. I think most people would agree. I don't imagine there's any people hiding in the background of created £10 billion in their time yet. But essentially we're looking for agents of change, people who want to make a real difference to join us on that journey and work with us to get to the other end. Without failure, there is no success. Again, failure is, in my opinion, the root of all success. So I'm going to repeat, so I am a failure. I don't know if anyone else wants to share this, but I shoot for the stars and I know I will land on the moon because of that. So thank you.